So today I'm gonna show you how to beat the 1600 ELO engine in chess. So let's get right into it. I'm playing this with white pieces. First I just to move my pawn to d4. It moved its pawn to d5. Now I can develop my knight to f3. It also developed its knight to f6. So now I can develop my bishop to f4. My knight to c3. It moved its pawn to e6. So now I should move my knight to b5. It moved its knight to a6. So now I think that I should get this knight out of here for my plan to work for moving my knight here. But I don't think that I should spend these many moves. So I should just retreat my knight to c3. Now I should move my pawn to e3. It moved its knight to b4. Now I should move my rook to c1. It moved its pawn to g5, threatening my bishop, so I should move my bishop to e5. It retreated its knight to c6, so I should move my bishop to f6, capturing its knight. It recaptured my bishop with its queen, so now I should move my knight to e5. So now I should develop my bishop to b5. It moved its pawn to a6. So I should capture its knight with my bishop. It recaptured my bishop with its pawn. So now I should move my knight to e5, which is a good move. It moved its rook to b8, threatening this pawn. So I should move my rook to b1, protecting it. It moved its bishop to d6, threatening my knight. So just to capture this free pawn on c6 with my knight, it moved its rook to b6, threatening my knight. I should move my knight to a5. And now I should castle to the king's side. It moved its queen to g6. So now in this I should move my rook to c1. It captured my pawn on b2 with its rook. I should just move my knight to c6. It retreated its bishop to d6. So see, now I should attack this rook with knight to a4. It captured my pawn on c2 with its rook, so I should recapture it. It captured my rook with its bishop. Now I should move my knight to c5, which is a great move. It moved its pawn to h5. So now see, I should try to get rid of this bishop. So for that I think that I should do good moves. So I should move my rook to c1, attacking this bishop. It moved its bishop to b1. So I should move my queen to b2. It retreated its bishop to d3. So now I think that I should just move my knight to a. So now I think that I should just move my knight to d7, which is a great move. It moved its rook to e8. So that I should just move my knight to e5, which is also a great move. It moved its queen to f5, attacking my knight, but that is already being protected by my pawn, so no worries. And now I think that I should capture this bishop with my knight. It recaptured my knight with its queen. So now I should move my knight to e5, attacking this queen. It captured my knight with its bishop, so I should recapture it. It moved its pawn to h4. So now I can offer a trade for queens with queen to c3. It accepted the trade and captured my queen, so I should recapture it. It moved its rook to b8. Now it is threatening a back rank mate. So I should move my pawn to g3 to avoid it. It captured my pawn with its pawn, so I should recapture it. It moved its rook to b2, threatening my pawn, but I should just capture its pawn with my rook. It recaptured my pawn with its rook. So now I should move my rook to c6, threatening this pawn. It moved its king to g7. So I should move my king to g2. Now I should capture this pawn with my rook. It moved its pawn to g4. So I should move my rook to a7. And now I should move my king to f1. And now I think that I should move my rook to a4. It moved its rook to b2. So now I should capture this pawn and check the king. It moved its king to f8. So now I should move my rook to h4. My king to g2. My pawn to g4. Take the king with the rook to h8. And now I should move my rook to h7, pinning this pawn to the king. It captured my pawn on g4 with its rook and checked my king. So I should move my king to f3, attacking this rook. It moved its rook to e4. So now I should capture this pawn and check the king. It moved its king to d8. So now I should again check the king with the rook to f8. And now I should retreat my rook to g8. And now rook to a8. Rook to a7 check. And rook to a6. It moved its king to e8. So I should capture this pawn and check the king. It moved its king to f8. So now in this position, I think that I should move my rook to f6 check. And now I should rook to f5, which is a great move. It moved its king to e6. So now I should move my rook to h5. It captured my pawn with its rook, so I should recapture it. It captured my rook with its king. So now I think that I should move my king to e2, d3. And now I should move my pawn to f4 check. And now my pawn to e4. Captured my pawn with its pawn, so I should recapture it. Now I should check the king with pawn to f5. King e5. Now again check the king with the pawn to f6. Now I should move my king to e6. Now again I should check the king with pawn to f7. And now I think that this is a forced draw. So I should just do it with king to f5. It captured my pawn with its king, so now it's a draw. So let's review the game. That is analyzing the game.
The game ended evenly, but you had some nice moves.
So let's see our moves. None of us made any brilliant moves. I made 5 great moves while it made 7. I made 31 best moves, it made 26. I made 2 mistakes, it made 7 mistakes. I made 1 miss, I made 4 miss, it also made 1 miss. I made 1 blunder and it also made 1 blunder. So now let's see the opening, mid game and end game once. In the opening I did good. Actually in every opening, middle game and end game I did good. But while in the opening it did best, in the middle game it did good, and in the end game it did correct. So what about the ELO? For the ELO it did 1600. It's a type because it has 1600 ELO, and I did 1750 ELO. So now let's start the reviewing, and I will just let you listen to the coach what it is saying because it will give a better explanation.
A classic first move for good reason. It fights for the center and opens up your dark squared bishop. They bring out their bishop, increasing their control over the center. Your better option was to develop further. Your best move was to block an attack on a vulnerable pawn. This is the only move that works, and you found it. You calmly stepped the knight out of trouble. There was only one good move, and you found it. Good awareness keeps the knight alive here. Nice find. You found the only move in this position. The only move, and you found it. You had an opportunity to win material through a fork. That pawn was yours for the taking. You want a pawn for free. Nice, definitely the right move. That pawn was free for the taking. This is the only move that works, and you found it. By protecting your passed pawn, you keep real winning chances alive. You're going to end up losing a pawn. Capturing your hanging pawn.
So I hope that you liked the video. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Please comment how you thought the video was. And have a nice day.